Alright, what's up everyone? Swale here to give you some render tips and just yeah, I'm gonna show you how to make your video crisp, clear and whatnot, so forth and so on. So here we got Sony Vegas 10 Pro opened up. We're gonna go and grab a video clip. We'll just grab any clip. We'll go into stealth and dose. I don't know what clip this is, but it doesn't matter. So first thing you do is you drop your clip in. Now the first thing you want to do before you even start your video is make sure your project settings are proper. Right here we got a 1080p video that we just dropped in by 30 frame rates. So we're gonna go to project media right there. Okay, so click that. Make sure your template, I got mine on custom, you go down to 1080 by 60i. Okay, so that's, oh no, sorry, yeah, 1080 by 60i, 1920 by 1080 at 29,970 frames per second. Okay, you hit that, and then you're gonna want to make sure that your pixel format it's gonna show up as 8-bit. You're gonna want to change it to 32 floating. Okay, and then from there your gamma you're gonna want to change from 1 linear to 2.222. Alright, that's gonna get rid of the graininess, the gray in the video. It's gonna give it that nice contrast without having to add color correction. So that's what you want. These two here, you leave the same resolution. You want it on best, obviously. Motion blur, leave it on Gaussian. And that's pretty much it for that. Obviously, you use your template according to what size video you're doing it in. If you're shooting in 720, you want to go to HD 720 at 60. Okay, everything has to be at 60 if you want it to get it nice and clear. It doesn't mean that your video is 60, but it'll give it that extra oomph. You know what I mean? So right now we go to 1080 at 60, even though this video we shot was 1080 at 30. I'll show you what it means later, because look, it says 60i, but right here it says 29 frames per second. So that's the set. Pixel format you want at 32, floating point, full range, gamma 2.222, resolution rendering, best. And leave this at square. I'll show you something in a second. Your field order is going to be upper field. I'm sure you could just pause it and then take down my settings, hit apply. Actually, if you want, hit start all new projects with these settings, then hit apply so you don't have to go in there and do it again. Alright, so moving forward, after you drop your clip in, once you make sure that your project settings are according to what size file and whatever you shot it in. So right here we got a 1080p file shot in 30 frames per second. You're going to want to right click it, go to properties, and you got to do this for every file. Yeah, it's kind of time consuming, but I mean it's going to be for the better in the long run. So you go to properties, and then right here it says smart resample. Okay, you're going to want to hit disable resample. That's going to get rid of that ghosting effect. So say if something's moving fast or just moving in general and you got that little shadow beside him, say he moves to the left and he's still a little bit to the right, it's gonna get rid of all that ghosting for you. So from there you change it. Remember, smart resample, you want to take that off, so you go to disable resample, go to media. Okay, now if you want to go for that widescreen look with the cinematic type of feel to it, right here pixel ratio, it says square, so it's going to be full screen. I don't like that personally. If you set it to this setting here, 1.3333 HD 1080. Okay, now that's going to give it that. If you watch this right here, okay, now every clip is going to be with those black bars up top, but it's not going to take away from your video. It's going to squish the pixels together to make it that much crisp. Now we've got that underway. Let's go into, if you're having problems during playback, See how it's really choppy, right? You don't want that. That's just horseshit. How the fuck are you gonna edit with it like that? So what I did was I went to Options, Preferences, you go to Video tab, and your Dynamic RAM Preview Max. Okay, I'm running it 4 gig of RAM. So I have mine set to 512. The majority of people are going to set it to 512. A lot of people say go for 356. I do 512. I find it gives it a lot smoother playback. So I set it for 512. So that's right there. Dynamic RAM, megabytes, 512. Okay. Then I hit OK. And what I do is right here, you go to your preview quality. I always set it to preview, and I set it to auto. And that's going to also help your playback. Also, another thing is if you just click up here and you drag it across, right, however long you want, it all depends, then you hit shift. So you're going to hit shift and B. Okay, now that's going to pre-render whatever you have highlighted. So right now it's just pre-rendering. Okay, so that's what we got out of that. And then you hit the space bar to hit play or whatever you want. And
just put it off to the side then.
Now there's no lag at all. No lag. That's full tilt right there. Anybody with a slower computer, you can also go to draft, set it to a quarter if you wanted, but I always use preview auto. Yeah, with that pretty much that's my settings for getting things going. Now once you're done your video and it's fully done, don't forget every clip has to be disabled resample, and if you want, set it to HD 1.3333 to make it better. Okay, now to render file, render as, you're basically going to want to copy what you did for your preset project settings. Okay, so I always save mine as Sony AVC. That's the best quality you're going to get no matter what. So right here, a lot of people will think, oh, Windows Media. No, don't do that. That's not a good file. You go to Sony AVC, right? And then from there you go to template. You're gonna want to go to whatever you're shooting at, but I'm shooting at 1080 by 30 frames. So you go internet 1080 by 30. Okay, you're gonna go to custom. Kind of want to make sure this is same as mine, baseline 30, blah 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 blah. Now your bitrate, this is all up to you really. The lowest you can go on 720 picture is 6. Okay, 6 million. Now that's gonna be the lowest you can go without losing any quality, with it still staying HD, but it's also gonna make your file a lot smaller, so it's gonna be easier to upload to your internet, yada yada yada. Render time's gonna go down. And for 1080, the lowest I would go is 8 without losing any quality at all. But for my music videos I'm running it in 16. It's gonna be the full quality you can get. And then your audio, you're gonna want to set it from 128 to 192 because that's gonna be standard for HD. That's as high as it gets for HD video. System, it's gonna pop up probably as an MPEG. You're gonna want to change it to MP4. Project settings, video rendering quality, change it to best. Okay, now with that being done, you're gonna want to save all those presets. But before all that, before you even think about rendering, you're gonna go to your preview quality, like under playback, just while editing, go to best, full, and then do everything I just said. So go back in here, render. Okay, Sony AVC, internet 1920 by 1080 at 30 frames. Go to custom, make sure you have all this right. Yada yada yada. Again, if you're shooting in 720, you can go to 6. If you're shooting in 1080, you can go to 8. I wouldn't suggest going any lower, or else it's just going to be alley boo boo. I go 16 all the time. Audio 128. You're going to want to change it 192. Okay, system MP4. Project best. Always hit best. Alright, now you hit go, and that's it. And that's the best way to render your HD videos. It's my first tutorial. I know I shot it off a webcam. If it's hard to see, send me some questions. I'll respond. Obviously, I'm probably going to redo this video using Snagit so that I can just record the whole screen with audio, so it's not so fucking hard for you guys to understand anything that I'm trying to say or show you. So, with that being said, squale motherfuckers. Also, the internet format for MP4 doing the Sony AVS is going to be, the upload time is drastically changed from Windows Media Player. If you're gonna like do a Windows Media video, like the Sony AVS MP4 is just that much quicker to upload. Alright, ciao motherfuckers.